Gautam Singhania is the next big man that is going to be, and the conversation is going to be centered around him. Raymond Group, remember, has been riding the wave of the complete man. Group chairman Gautam Singhania may not be able to say that for himself, at least for now. Raymond Group chairman and managing director Gautam Singhania made news when his wife of 2 decades, Nawaz Modi, announced separation and made domestic violence allegations against him. Modi asked for 75% of Gautam Singhania's $1.4 billion personal wealth and their 2 daughters. Now, Nawaz Modi is also a non-executive director of Raymond. Raymond stocks tanked 14% after the feud came to light and brought Gautam Singhania in the midst of the news as well as the highlight of this show. One of the man, Gautam Singhania, out of nowhere comes the news of his separation, and Raymond Group stocks take a beating on the back of that news. I think things could have been handled better perhaps at his end.
Right. I mean, talk about a juicy controversy, not to be expected from India Inc. in that sense, the kind of dirty linen that eventually got washed in public, and coming after what happened with Mr. Gautam Singhania's father. You know, it's extremely shocking.
Lots of very kind words that he used for his son.
Right, and multiple occasions. He just basically, Mr. Harshpati Singhania has been always talking about the fact that, you know, he's where he is because of his son, because he signed off all the rights of the group of Raymond Group to his son, and because of his son, he's not living in the house anymore. And he says the same thing, you know, he's living in his house alone. There's no wife and there's no father. So, I mean, this is all personal, and it can happen in any family, any guy. It doesn't have to be Mr. Gautam Singhania.
Absolutely.
My question has always been, does this have anything, how can divorce have anything to do with the boardroom and decisions being made in the boardroom, and more importantly, questions being asked for Mr. Singhania to step down? I mean, imagine in the US, the number of founders and promoters and MDs and CEOs are going through a divorce battle, ugly divorce battles, you know, in that sense, in public limelight, and yet continuing to hold on, doing well with their companies. So my question here is that how does divorce become a boardroom discussion, Srinath?
See, I mean, in India, promoters are larger than life. They're omnipresent. They're almost like God-like. That's the reality of corporate India. I mean, I'm just probably diverting, but if you look back a year ago, the industry lobbied for SEBI's regulation to split chairman and managing director seats. It didn't want to give up power or influence. That's a reality. So why is a marriage or a divorce so important? It is because simple, you're going to have corporate action on various corporate holdings, and no Indian business, especially the top 500 business families, have a simple structure. It's very complicated, multiple trusts, multiple subsidiaries and so on. The worry is we don't know which subsidiary will be split or what will happen to any of those. And 2, the operational decisions until all that is over will need supreme chief executive's time, which he won't be able to give today, which is exactly why the proxy firm has also asked him to step down. And the third point, which is very important, in an organization, if there is an accusation against another employee of any violence or harassment, both of them are asked to stay away from the office. There's an independent committee led by an external independent lady chairperson who investigates. That's the POSH committee. In a large high-profile couple like them, high-profile company like them, I mean, let's remember they're not even in the top 300 of the listed entities, but they're high-profile. If there is such an allegation of domestic violence being made, and both of them sit on that board, I would have assumed the board would have actually asked the POSH committee to check, or corporate India to actually get in, or regulator to ask. And very importantly, if such an allegation were made against a listed entity promoter, typically the stock exchanges ask for clarification. In this case, they did not. Why? So if you're saying there's no corporate governance drama, we have missed a lot of these drama.
Absolutely.
So I'm saying that it's very simple. So it is going to take away both the Singhania's time and energy and effort for them to run the business, and which is exactly why the proxy advisory firm is saying, ask them to step down, let somebody run it. The second question, if everything was so good in the organization as all Indian promoters claim, then somebody should be able to run the company peacefully, right? There should be good succession planning. That's another large lacuna in India. We claim to have great succession plans and professional groups that we have. Yet, how come we don't have a CEO who can step in and say, I will run this group for the next 3 years? But with due credit to this company, it did have an external CEO, a non-family member who was a CEO of that business until he stepped down 2 years ago. So it has had external CEO in the past. So the question now back is, large allegation being made, how come no regulatory question, no stock exchange question, no investor question, no probably women's rights wing asking those questions, none of those. Why?
All right, those are fair questions, but I see that the problem is two-pronged here. One is the questions raised on the personal conduct of Mr. Gautam Singhania, not just by his wife, but constantly by his father, who basically says on multiple news media platforms that he regrets giving away his company to his son. That is number one. Number two, no board action at all. On the back of that, stock down 14%, has seen some recovery, but I think the latest that we are getting is that there may be some sort of settlement that Mr. Gautam Singhania, his wife Nawaz Modi, will arrive at. So perhaps because it is a domestic feud, hence no corporate action, no action from the board.
I mean, I don't buy that logic at all. I mean, corporate, I mean, domestic feud, their issues, differences, whatever, diverse, it's very personal and we should respect them. It's not a conversation at all. But two is, as long as you're sitting on that board and if there's an allegation that one director slapped another director, won't it make news? That's exactly it is making today.
Also, the question is, I'm guessing, is coming from the fact that as long as the company is running fine, and you know, its books make sense, the financial results make sense, and how will something like
and
this?
The conduct, the personal conduct of the chief executive makes all the difference, right? I mean, in the financial markets, you always call it the fit and proper of the ability, the civil behavior, the criminal behavior. I mean, everything put together of a person saying, do you have the moral right to run that entity with integrity and ethics. So in this case, if somebody is accused of personal violence and at that level, you're not talking about a low level, entry level employee accusing somebody of harassment. Here you have two high profile individuals in their own right, celebrities in their own right.
Absolutely.
And making that allegation. So how much ever you split the shareholding, it really doesn't take away your conduct. So from that perspective, the conduct, if it had been a financial business, I think the regulator would have already asked him to step aside.
All right, it's the personal conduct perhaps of the CMD which is in question at this point in time, even as the financials of Raymond Group are looking robust, but no questions asked and a settlement likely in order. That is the news as far as Gautam Singhania is concerned.